Stephanie Milky here, aka KetoMOM, or often called mom, sis, Steffi, daughter, wife, aunt, and friend. Just like many of you, I carry a lot of titles. My favorite title is mom. I should probably say wife, which takes a lot of my time. But let's be honest, if you want to do something and do it well, you will make the time for it. Commitment is hard because we find ourselves overcommitted, but when you practice prioritizing, you will find out what is actually important and what you can let go. With the KetoMOM podcast, you will learn together how to manage our time, commit to the most important things in life, and I will equip you with the tools you need to feel qualified each step of the way. My name is Stephanie Milky, and welcome to the KetoMOM Secrets podcast. Hello, welcome to the KetoMOM page. My name is Stephanie. Oh, I should probably tune into something real quick. All right. How is everybody doing? Welcome. How is your Monday? Let me know where you're tuning in from. I am tuning in from Florida. Oh, and I'm turning on my disturb sign, which is not working. All right. It is Monday. How are you doing? It's approximately lunchtime where I'm at. So I'm in a little bit of a different part of Florida, but I want to come on here and share a quick story and why it is so important to take care of your health. Which we all know, right? We all know this. We know that it doesn't matter how much money that you have in the world if you don't have your health, like it doesn't matter, right? So yesterday, first of all, tell me what you're having for lunch. I'm actually going to shake up some electrolytes because if you've been following along, you know that I had my blood drawn last month and we do have our dogs with us. So I have 4 daughters, 4 dogs. The dogs are always loud. So if you have been following along, one of the things that I have been really working on is hydration, but not just hydration with water, hydration with electrolytes. So I'm drinking an electrolyte packet. You need about half your body weight in ounces of water. If you're not drinking enough water, make sure you're drinking enough water. My hat looks crooked. It's super important. And there are things, you know what? I know that I'm not old. I'm 40. I'm going to turn 41 this month. But it's interesting because as we age, and I'm going to guess most people watching me are probably in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. So as we age, right, one of the biggest things that we get to work on is making sure that we stay healthy. So there's things that I'm doing to make sure that my brain is functioning, like I'm eating well, like I've been doing carnivore for, all of January. It's already February 5th. What in the world? So almost 36 days. There are things that I'm doing that I feel like I need to stay focused on because my goal is to age well. All of us are going to age. So there's things like I drink ketones every single day, right? Ketones preserve your muscle. Ketones help me as I work out. Ketones help me feel good and make better choices. So this is one of my tools. I make sure that I drink plenty of water. It's super, super important to stay hydrated. I grab electrolytes. I move my body, but here's something that I wasn't doing and it affected me yesterday for 5 hours. I actually thought I was dying. So please ignore our dogs that are about to bark. My sister just walked in. All right. So here's what happened is I actually haven't been stretching. Do any of you avidly stretch? Do any of you stretch? Let me know. Like, do you actively stretch? Do yoga, Pilates, any of that? So I don't. Like, I work out, I run, I walk, I do lots of things, but I do not stretch. Now, here's something that happened. About 2 weeks ago, I was moving a table and I pinched my back, but not enough to where I babied it, right? And I didn't really take care of it. I remember it being tight and then I didn't stretch. I didn't take care of it. And I know, you hate exercising. Well, okay, so here's the deal. I did not stretch. I did not baby it. And then over the course of the last week and a half, I've been walking, running, doing my normal workouts, knowing that my back felt pinched, but I didn't do anything about it. And then yesterday so I did a cold plunge, which, cold therapy helps with inflammation. So I actually got into the cold plunge, went to church, thought I was fine. And then all of a sudden had the most sharpest pain in my back and all down my leg. During worship, I think people thought I was crying because I was so moved in worship. I was crying and almost lost it because I was in so much pain that I've never experienced in my life. So I like had to get myself out of the front of the row to get home, to beg my husband to bring me home. And then we like combated pain for 4 to 5 hours. I couldn't stand, I couldn't sit, I couldn't lay down. I was like in the most excruciating pain of my life, like ever in my life, even more than childbirth that I can remember. And I remember thinking, oh my goodness, like if you don't take care of yourself, which I wasn't stretching, I knew my back had been a little bit pulled. And I was on the inversion table. Do you guys know what that is? It's a table where you like flip upside down. The only thing that would relieve my back, of course, it's a Sunday. There's not a chiropractor open. I could have went to the ER, but I wasn't ready to do that yet. And I didn't go to the doctor. No, I didn't go to the doctor quite yet because we had an inversion table. So I knew it was a pinched nerve, not like my sciatic nerve. So I went, and the only comfortable way I could get was being upside down because it was releasing my back. And then, as soon as my husband would bring me up, it would hurt again. So I basically stayed on the table for a couple hours. Our friends had some muscle relaxers. We got a hold of a chiropractor. He's like, if you know it's your nerve, they're not going to do anything in the ER. They're going to give you some muscle relaxers. They're going to say, come back, probably do an x-ray. I knew what it was. I've had it before, but not this bad. I'm telling you this for a reason. And then after like 2 hours on the table, muscle relaxers, and then my husband, you'd use this Theragun. Have you guys ever seen one of those where it's like a gun that like, it goes, and he like worked up and down my whole back and my leg. And he's like, Stephanie, your muscles are so tight. Like somebody had said, like, if your calves are tight and your muscles are tight, it's going to affect your back. And I have not been stretching. So I say all of that because it was one of the worst 5 hours of my life. It sounds very dramatic, and yet it seriously was. Like, I told my husband, I think I'm going to pass out a couple of times because the pain was so terrible. But as we worked through it, and as my husband was so great, I kept telling myself, I have to do one more thing. I have to incorporate this in my life, because if I don't, I'm going to get to the point where as I'm aging, like we don't naturally get more, what's the word? I'm not stretchy, but like limber, right? So I listen to older people as they're in their 60s, 70s, and 80s. And there's things that if I see somebody that's older and wiser, I'll say, hey, give me some tips. And they'll say, like, don't stop moving. I'll, really make sure that you can walk, do some light weights, but stretch. Like, because I want to be able to always bend down and get back up. And I need to be able to do things like, lift a suitcase over your head, or be able to sit and squat and get off the floor. And I just thought it was outside of my 5 hours of thinking I was going to die, and I'm not being exaggerating. Like, it was terrible. I kept telling myself, I'm going to have to stretch. I don't prioritize it. I don't do it. I love to walk, run, lift weights. But if I don't stretch, that one thing can, is the word debilitate? Debilitate? It sounds weird. Like, it just made me go, your health is so important. And if something goes down and something is wrong, whether you're sick or like physically have a disease, or even the fact of like muscles hurting, no amount of money can fix that outside of like healing. And so I will tell you this, if you are not taking care of your health, like, and it might be something totally different for you. It might be like, I actually need to get up and move. I actually need to, as silly as it sounds, like I need to pack my lunch. Hey, I need to get rid of the sugary drinks. Like, hey, I need to, the kind of phrase that I've been talking about over the last couple of days is, well, if you feel like you can't, you must. So like we've been cold plunging, and I do a lot of hard things. And I always say, I can't stretch. I don't like it. Or I'll say things like, I should stretch, but I don't do it. If you can't, or you find yourself saying that you should, then you what? You must. I must. I say I can't. I'm constantly like, oh, I should stretch. I have to do it, because I will never go back to having that pain again. It was terrible. It was terrible. So I say all of that because your health is important. And it doesn't have to be that dramatic, but don't let it get that dramatic, right? Don't wait to hit rock bottom. Don't wait till you have to make a change. I'm going to tell you, you get to make a change today. So little things I'll help people. Like I was talking to a lady today, right? She just ordered ketones. So she's like, okay, I've got my ketones on the way. She's got her intermittent fasting kit and I'm helping her. And I was like, first step, number one, what are you drinking? What are you drinking? Are you drinking a whole bunch of sugar? Or are you drinking water and electrolytes? Coffee is fine. How much sugar is going in there? If you need some energy or like a tool, I've got a great tool. So that's the first thing. And I would evaluate, like, what am I drinking that I probably don't need as much of, right? Number two, I said, all I want you to do is just narrow it in of how much you're eating. If you're eating from the time you wake up until the time you go to bed, let's narrow the window. You don't need to eat consistently all day long. Most people are either not gaining, or they're gaining weight, they're not losing weight, or they're stuck because they're simply overeating, and even overeating good food. Does that make sense? So what are you drinking? How often are you eating? Ask yourself, am I hungry or am I bored? And then prioritize protein, veggies, and salads. Like narrow down and try to cut out some of the sugar and the processed garbage. Move your body. Go for a walk. Be mindful. If you listen to your body, it will tell you if you're hungry. It will tell you if you're tired. Like sleep is a weapon, right? Like de-stressing your mind is so good for you. Your body is going to tell you, and it will react based on either being neglected or not taken care of, right? Or you're energized and you feel better because you're eating well, you're drinking your water, you're getting your sleep. It sounds like I know this, but do you know it? And if you know it, then the next question is, are you actually taking action on it? So out of my 4 to 5 hours of terribleness, I will be stretching every single day. I already did this morning. The first thing I got up, I feel great. I also am going to make sure I baby it. I'm going to stretch it, and I'm not going to neglect, and I'm going to prioritize stretching and making sure I take care of my back. So whatever that is for you, I'm going to encourage you to take care of your body, because it's a temple. It's a temple of the Holy Spirit. For me, at least that's how I look at it. And we just need to take care of it because it's the only body that you get. All right. So I want to say happy Monday. If you have any questions, ask your questions below. Reach out to me. For those who are rebooting, I'll make sure to add you in the reboot group. So if you grabbed your reboot kit, today's the last day to grab it. If you don't have it on your smart ship, it'll stay there, but it's going to be taken off the website. The reboot, I don't have it with me. It's like a 60-hour fast. If you want to join us, we start February 25th. Today's the last day. Post reboot in the comments and I'll get you the information. It's ketones, electrolyte. It's our protein. It's going to help you kind of get past the plateau, right? So the reboot is amazing. If you've never tried ketones at all and you want to know more about the trials, we've got some going out in the mail today. Post trial in the comments. It's going to boost your energy, turn on your brain, help you with your appetite control. Like you're going to feel amazing as you work on moving your body and eating better and stretching, right? So I will help you with all of those things. There is no question that either A, I don't know, or B, I can't find an answer to. So if you have questions, ask questions below. If you need a reboot, you want to join us February 25th, post reboot in the comments. If you want trials, just like Debbie posted, post trial in the comments, and I'll share with you more about what ketones are and how they actually work. I've been drinking them for almost 9 years. Otherwise, thank you for tuning in. Your presence matters. I want you to think of this phrase all week. Must over can't. If you say that, if you find yourself saying I can't, then you must. Or even if you find yourself saying I should, but the should hasn't turned into action, if I should, then I must. Do hard things. You can do it. I'm here to help you. Have a wonderful day. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.